So we're going to start with problem 317 and kind of work our way through. 317, they're giving you your multiplication blocks, which most of you should have already know how to do, fill in, but essentially what you're trying to do is fill in these blanks here, 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 here for A. So we're trying to figure out x times what equals xy. So we know y goes there, okay? Y times what equals y squared, another y. And for your middle one, they gave you a 3 up here. So essentially what they're doing is they're putting numbers on the top and letters down here for this one. For me, I really don't care, but we know this is going to be a 3 because they gave it to us. So y times 3 is 3y. Now, it's also asking you to write out equivalent terms. So we know that y times x plus 3 plus y equals xy plus 3y plus y squared, and that gives you your two terms. Okay. All right. So on B, if you're looking at B, we're trying to fill in this one, and this one, and here. So what times what equals x squared? We know x and x. Okay. We still got to fill in this as well. X times what equals 8x? We know this needs to be a plus 8. Now we know this is 3x because x times 3, we know 8 times 3 is 24. So our two terms are x plus 8 times x plus 3 equals x squared plus 11x plus 24. Alright, now on C, we're trying to fill in a few more spots. We're trying to fill in here, 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 here. Alright, so we're trying to fill in all those. So look for something that's easy. What I'm going to look for is this right here, and I wrote this wrong. This should have been negative 20x. Y is what they give you. So what times 4 equals negative 20? Well, 5. Now we already got our y, so now we need our x. So that tells us everything over here. So we know this is going to be 5x minus 3. Now from there, fill in what we can. And really the only thing we can fill in is nothing going there now. Negative 3 times what equals negative 6? Well, we know it 2. Okay, so now that we can fill in this, 10x. Now we can also fill in this. It's going to be a negative 12y. From there, negative 3 times what equals negative 15? 5. And up here, we got 5 times 5 equals 25x. So now we know when we finish filling this out, 2 minus 4y. I'm sorry, 2x. So this is going to become x squared. Because we had to do that to fill in for this x right here. So this is going to be 2x minus 4y plus 5. Alright, that's going to equal, combine your like terms, so you got a 10x squared, you got a minus 6x, that's the only x, that one and that one are your two x's. So when you combine those, you're going to get 19x, so plus 19x. So I use this one, I've used this one, and I've used this one. Put them on a different color so we know we've used them. We've used this one, this one, this one. Alright, xy, that's the only xy I have, so minus 20xy. So I've used that one. That's the only y I have, so minus 12y. And that's the only one without a variable. Alright, now on D. Looking at D, I've got to fill in here, 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 and here. Alright, On D, you've got a lot of different answers. What I would probably use, just what comes to my mind real quick, is plus 4 and x plus 3. And the reason why is because I know 4 times 3 is 12. So now I've got x squared, because that's x times x. I've got 3x, I've got 4x, and I've got plus 12. So I got x plus 4, x plus 3 equals x squared plus 7x plus 12. Alright, now on 318, what it's asking you to do. So let's move down here to 318. Alright, 318 it says, shall I notice similarity in parts C and D in the problems of 315. Okay, so it's basically what do you notice if you go back and you look at it? What you should have noticed was the difference of squares, which was in Algebra 1. Okay, now knowing those differences of squares, I don't really care what term y'all use it in, but know that the mathematical is the difference of squares. What she kind of figured out was w plus 9, w minus 9 equals w squared w squared minus 81. So w squared is a perfect square, 81 is a perfect square, and the minus is the difference. Difference and squares. So difference of squares. You just need to kind of start being able to recognize that pattern. You're going to start seeing it a lot more here coming up. That's really 318. That's all you really need to know from that, is if you can recognize that. Now you start getting into some shortcuts and everything in problem 319. And really 319 through 320, it's just recognizing that you can substitute in a variable to represent a whole term. So you can substitute in a u or a v or an a and a b. It doesn't really matter which variable you use, but you can substitute it in as long as they're perfect squares. So 4, 9, 16, 25, so on, and something like x squared, x to the 4th, x to the 6th, any even numbers. When you start raising them to a power, they have to be even numbers. Then you can have a difference of squares. And that's pretty much it for lesson 3. I don't know what lesson this is. 312. So we're going to stop right there. So that's 312. Your homework should have already got it. If you don't, I'm not sure what it is. You'll just have to, it's a review preview that starts on, review preview should start at 322 maybe, 321, yeah, 322, somewhere right around there. So homework is always going to be the review preview section. Sorry, I can't tell you what problems they are. I printed it out on a different sheet of paper.